son, Ma'am Suzanne, of the coordinator of this retreat, the nuns of SSPS. I saw some nuns around. To all the parents and all the students here, good afternoon to everyone. When I was asked by Mommy X, our dear CPR, to render a talk on how to accompany our children in their spiritual journey towards their transition to college, I was very surprised and immediately I politely declined. Bakit ako, Mommy X? Marami naman iba dyan. I have never shared personal or spiritual reflections in a big group such as this. I know that I am not worthy to represent the parents here. Also, I would not know what to say since I do not keep a journal of hard and fast rules, nor kept a guide on how to help our son Red in transitioning to college, but also to any milestone in his life. So after much discernment and after I talked to Red regarding this assignment, I finally found it in my heart to say yes. Yes, to share what I can with all of you from the heart and with utmost humility. I also noticed that with this task, the urging of the Holy Spirit also became strong, beckoning me and prompting me to come home. Come home where? As it happens, I am a graduate of the School of the Holy Spirit, the school that stands on these very grounds where the Arnold Janssen Spirituality Center is. So, ako po ang isa sa unang nag-graduate as a senior high school student here back in the sobrang tagal, 80s. So, today I feel I've come full circle, so to speak, and I do hope that by bearing witness today, the values and teachings of my family, my school, and my parish will somehow further inspire us. Now on to the topic at hand. The role and mission of parents in the spiritual journey of our children as they transition to college. I must admit the topic is quite difficult. Maraming, as Mr. Andres said, keywords. No? But looking back, I give credit to my late mom as the root and anchor of our family's religiosity and spirituality. The rites, rituals, and traditions of the Catholic faith were passed on early to my siblings and me, and coupled with the values taught by the nuns of the School of the Holy Spirit, the gifts of the Holy Spirit, namely wisdom, understanding, knowledge, fortitude, that's my section before, counsel, piety, and fear of God were knowingly or unknowingly passed on to our son Red. Both my husband Alfred and I wanted Red to become an improvement of ourselves. Thus, there was a conscious effort to make this happen. We felt that the best way to make Red become a better person was through the following. Number one, parental involvement and guidance. Two, being present in Red's life and spending enough time with him as he was growing up. So spiritually, we introduced God and the Catholic faith to Red at a very, very young age. Si Mr. Andres nag-start conception. Pero hindi ko naisip. Maybe unconsciously. But when Red was born, so based on our life experiences, doon namin hinubog, unti-unti si Red. So for us, more than being smart and intelligent, we wanted him to become a kind, loving, and compassionate person. This is not to say that Alfred, Red, and I are ideal, faultless, or error-free. As for Red, he grew up to be a normal child, making mistakes like everybody else. The difference is we wanted Red to be aware of the Christian values and practices early on in his life. Through simple prayers, books on values, animated Bible stories, and a Bible for children, his religious journey began. And to our joy and amazement, even as a young child of 2 or 3, he was already receptive to the Holy Mass and attentive to Christ on the cross. I even remember back in preschool when he was about 5 years old. Nakita ko siya, nagtitinker sa PC, sa computer, no? And then, I saw him typing this 2 little fingers. And guess what he was writing? He wrote his own version of the Nativity. Preschool. So, sobrang nakakagulat talaga. Parang, saan ang dami yun? Kasi English, may mali lang sa mga spelling ng Bethlehem, mga ganyan, double L, mga ganyan. But the story, it was complete. So when he entered Ateneo grade school, we were happy to find out, indeed, one of his favorite subjects was CLE, or Christian Life Education. I was happy about it, of course, to the point that I even forced Red to become a sacristan in our parish and also in the Knights of Christ in AGS. However, hindi pa oras. This did not happen at all. Then came 2017. That time we lived in Brisbane, Queensland, Australia. Red was a grade 7 student, and by God's grace, adjusted quite well. One day, Red's first calling to serve the Lord happened. Red surprised me when he asked me to help him apply as an altar server at the Cathedral of the St. Stephen in Brisbane. This is no ordinary church. It's the biggest cathedral in the city of Brisbane. But he really wanted to join and serve the Lord. So with our prayers, Red got accepted, wore the fine sacristan vestments, and finally served the table of the Lord for the duration of our stay in Australia. Today, Red continues his religious journey as an active altar server in the Ateneo Liturgical Ministry, or A&M. We join him and we thank his mentors and companions in their noble quest. We do not know where this will take him, but we as his parents know that serving God in this way is grace, mercy, and love combined. With the teachings of values at home and in school, coupled with parental involvement serving as our context, we could only hope that these would be sufficient for our son to become more confident, independent, adaptable as he progresses to a new territory. And so, reflecting on my own experiences as a student before and as a parent now, I can think of 4 courses of action that we can further enhance to help our children adapt to the wonderful and challenging life in the university. So number 1, this is how we can join in your journey to college. So to the parents, have your child have a spiritual, or religious purpose. Again, hindi naman kailangan mag-join ng any specific religious group, no? But I believe, no, that the 5 C's that the Ateneo has ingrained in their students over the years must be put into good use, not only as students now, but also as students of life. It was also discovered in one of the journals which I encountered that highly spiritual students are also those who are more academically motivated. So on top of the 5 C's which I mentioned earlier, I'm sure that you know which one is the most valuable. And this is Christ-centeredness. God is everything, and in everything good, God can be found. A Christ-centered child is an enlightened being, one who is in continuous pursuit of goodness, compassion, and love, despite trials and adversities. In our family's case, when a major problem arises, we stop and find our core, and that core is Christ. Flawed and even very, very weak at times, we continue to trust that the Lord will not leave nor forsake us, especially in times of difficulties. Lots of prayers are needed, as well as Sunday Holy Mass attendance, even during the pandemic. These 2 practices are indeed required to always be spiritually nourished. Number 2, be aware of your child's strengths and weaknesses. Some teens today have the tendency to say that they know everything. Tama ba yun? As parents, we know that this is not true. What teens know now is not enough. They have not been exposed to the real complexities of life in this big world. As parents, we may not know everything as well. But through the years, I would like to believe that we have gained wisdom and awareness of our own strengths and frailties. Let's take time to talk to our children and know what their world is like. Only by knowing them can you gauge what gives your child strength and inspiration, what weakens them, what darkens their paths, and what inspires them. Helping them to be self-aware and mindful will fortify their problem-solving and decision-making skills as they navigate the dynamic aspects of college life. Number 3, cultivate your child's mental calmness and emotional composure. Our children's mental and emotional health are important aspects to be tackled head-on before our children step into college grounds. Admittedly, there are times when parents cannot seem to relate to their children because they have a world of their own. Video games, very late at night or early in the morning up to 2 a.m., 3 a.m. YouTube, TikTok. Nakikita ko yung TikTok yung mga TikTok dances na napakita ni Rev. Nakikita ko, ganun pero during yung mga short breaks, no? I know you do that. So, syempre, YouTube, Instagram, Discord, kung alam ko yung Discord na yan. Mga trending reels, K-pop, and other varied worldviews. Diba, very serious pa, political, social-political. They occupy their minds, no? Isa pa, peer pressure, finding one's authentic self. Yung uso-usong word, authentic. or not being accepted for who they are also significant issues to be settled. Hopefully, all these should be addressed before entering college, so that a more stable child will be sufficiently prepared to adjust to his or her own environment. Addressing these concerns all boils down to communication. There's no other way. Communication between parent and child. Talk to your children regularly, even if they don't want to, so that they will know how to respond to the world we live in. So what is this world that we live in? I don't know if you have heard of this. It's a volatile, uncertain, complicated, and ambiguous world. It is called the VUCA world. The challenge is on our shoulders, dear parents. Parental modeling is valuable. Let us teach our children to always look at the bright side amidst trials, even in the darkest of days. Help them to be steadfast, even in chaos, and help them to be more open to us with whatever they are going through. Let us remind them to always seek and go back to the Lord, our core, the only one who will never abandon them no matter what. And last, stress the importance of compassion and humility. Compassion and humility for me are the greatest of all virtues, but they can only come to fruition if the mental, emotional, and spiritual state of the person is solid enough. Compassion calls for relieving the suffering of others, thus it requires action. So how can parents and children then show compassion to each other and to other people? Here are some ways. 1. Speak with kindness towards each other. 2. Listen carefully without judgment. 3. Apologize when you make a mistake. 4. Offer help to someone in need. 5. Accept people for who they are. 6. Thank people who have helped you. 7. Forgive people for making mistakes. And 8. Always act with humility, for it is grace that attracts more grace. In Pope Francis Christus Vivit, Christ is alive, his post-synodal apostolic exhortation to young people in 2018, he said, "Young people are not meant to be discouraged. They are meant to dream great things, to seek vast horizons, to aim higher, to take on the world, to accept challenges, to offer the best of themselves, to building something better." And if the youth meets difficulties, Pope Francis encourages them by saying, "God is with you. He is with you, and He will never abandon you. However far you may wander, He is always there, the risen one. When you feel you are growing old out of sorrow, resentment, fear, doubt, or failure, He will always be there to restore your strength and your hope." To conclude my talk, let us remember that the one and only constant in this world is Christ in our hearts. Let us ask Christ to continuously hone His gifts to us as we journey with our children in college and beyond. I am sure that this retreat has given our boys and girls many memorable and hopefully indelible learnings, enough to make them carry the lux in domino, the light of God. May they shine as a beacon to the family, their friends, and the community. To our precious, precious children, we will always be here for you. We will always love you unconditionally. Ad Maiorem Dei Gloria. Thank you very much.